Hello and welcome to a slightly delayed full review. That's right. And technically shooting this on a Monday, and I try to normally do these on Saturday, but yet here we are. Let's go ahead and get down to business, shall we? Paulson doing a gift sub, kicking off this nice and right. I love it. Thank you for the generosity there, Paulson. I appreciate you hooking up the fam with a sub, hooking up a tarot, no less. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's get down to the poll. Thank you again, Paulson, for helping me make this all possible. It's, people gift subs, do sub on Twitch, patrons on Patreon, people who watch YouTube without an ad blocker. You guys help me out a ton. Thank you all so much for helping making it possible. All right, let's get back down to business. First question: Would you want a card based on intellectual property? Cyberpunk 2077 add to Gwent. This one actually got some serious backlash. So you can see a hard no. You can see a little bit of people open the alternate art, and some people are actually kind of open to the idea of expanding it. Sharman, no worries. Welcome, my friend. Glad you're here. And Otik, our Ati Capsid, Max, my friend. Welcome. Let's go ahead and take a look at the top ones. First, I'm a little tired today. Bear with me. I'm trying to do a stream without caffeine. I'm going rogue, and this might be a bit much for me. First one, from O'Reilly. I think a card of Ciri hiding in the cyberpunk universe or being fascinated by technology would be fine. But probably wouldn't want her looking like she actually belonged in the universe. Interesting. That's a really hot take. I like that. Where instead of actually like porting the lore and world of cyberpunk into Gwent, say, oh yeah, just get normal Ciri, everyday Ciri, put him in the Ciri in the landscape, and see how it goes. I think it's a really interesting idea. Rollers. This would piss off lore fans, even though I'm not one. Yeah, it totally would. It would piss them off. And I wonder. Oh yeah. So I got hit by this one. This person's somebody saying. Sanjit here said, bro, you're making pointless polls, but I think this kind of poll is really important because CDPR they had to renegotiate the rights to have access to the Witcher universe in 2019. And so that's not a guarantee. That's not a permanent thing you can count on. So that means if they lose the right to the Witcher, all of a sudden this game kind of hits a really weird speed bump where, hey, look, CDPR, we're heavily invested in the Witcher. It's gone. Gwent's a great game fundamentally in terms of design. Is it dead? So I thought it was kind of cool. And then there's a lot of like variables here where if the next season of The Witcher on Netflix bombs, for example, we look at Game of Thrones, it's bombed. Miss J with a gift sub. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your generosity there, Miss J. Helping make it all possible. Look at the people up. Size, good to see you here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take a look here. But I just thought it was really interesting. The idea of diversification among IPs and also potentially bringing new players caught my eye, but there was a real cost to the lore fans. So I do think this poll is interesting because it can open doors if people really don't mind. Next, I wanted to see what your people's favorite style of Gwent deck is. Do you prefer engine-y things, building up your points, point slamming, slapping down cards that play for full value, control, trying to remove your opponent's stuff, and memes? Do you like the memes? You know who you are. The answer is yes. So carrying on, Donabus coming in. I don't know if it would be considered memes. So I like decks of interesting synergies, kind of like combo-y things. Engines are something that stay on the field to get value, but I'm more into combos than engines. Yeah, combos. I mean, it's interesting. Synergies like that are really important in games. I agree with you. In Gwent is much less defined. In a game like Magic the Gathering, you just smash down the combo and boom, things happen and you might just win the game outright. Gwent's much more synergistic, but I agree. I think it's really important for a game to have a good time. And Peregrine coming in here. I like any deck that encourages board interactivity in a tactful way. Tribal Witch Hunters is very fun to me. Instant removal like Horson, Clown, Adriel, exact opposite. Basically, the cards that encourage you set up engines that remove and interact that way, but have vulnerabilities. I agree. I think there's a lot of value to having interaction in games. If every game was unitless, it would be a lot less fun. Next question. Do you plan on playing Draft? Most people say no. Or have played it this season. Planning on playing it this season or have played it this season? No. Let's see. We got some I Miss Arena. I Miss Arena just pure chaos. Draft is just a shell of its former form. They need to improve the card selections because no inherent synergy within the cards you pick sometimes. And we have the opposite. Daniel, draft is my go-to mode whenever the meta is absolute trash. The other time it's only interesting when you draft some fun actual fun combos, which happens 1 out of every 10. Interesting. Yeah, I think draft's getting there. It has ways to go. But I think Daniel, it's what you're writing here is a dream of CDPR. They want to make sure when the meta is trash, people go here. Also, hello, a lot of awesome people are entering the chat still. Gwent seems to be down for the moment, so we're just gonna crank for the poll review. So just to let everybody know, and then I'll try to catch up with chat. I'm a little behind. A lot behind. Next, how frequently would you like CDPR to add a new journey to Gwent? Every 3 months is overwhelmingly popular. People don't. There are some people who really like the idea of every month, and some people who really like the idea of every 5 months or greater, which is pretty crazy. This is like a year-long journey. Can you imagine that? A year-long journey. And or maybe you have so for me, well, let's get the comments, but I have some interesting thoughts. I dance myself clean. I don't really care, but I like to complete old journeys. Never gonna happen. Thanos will return. Welcome. I'll give you a formal welcome after this. 3 and Andrew. 3 months. I struggle to get 100 of Add a Boost. 4, let me complete a journey in a more leisurely place without having to play on days I don't feel like it. The fact that you do play on days you don't feel like it is why they'll keep it at 3. For me, though, I think one of the interesting things is this. The flagging every 5 months or greater. Can you imagine if you had 2 journeys? Like, one would be series, year-long quest. And then you have the quarterly one. So you get your quarterly Geralt journey or Regis journey. And then that one you have 3 months to complete. And then you have a level 400 journey. That's there, or maybe 300. And it's just always going. Always going. And you buy it, it's like start of the year, you pay your $30, $50, and you just go. Problem is, getting into that kind of a journey late would be not very feasible, I suppose. Oh well, interesting question. Maybe there's some opportunity for mini journeys or ultra long journeys, but maybe not. Maybe not. Did I mention a Plain Talk Money AMA? Guys, if you haven't responded and got involved in the Plain Talk Money AMA, totally should. And if you're a patron on Patreon, you get priority access. Make sure your questions get answered, so definitely do that. Link is on the Patreon page. And yeah, let's keep going. Let's see. We're gonna go to here. We're gonna go to there. All right. For those who play Gwent, have you played Thronebreaker? Yeah, actually, it's about 2/3, a little over 2/3, a little over exactly 2/3 have played Thronebreaker, and almost half of the people who, out of everyone who answered the poll, did finish it. Most of the people who started it did finish it. And I wanted to, and then ultimately followed it up with would people want more games like it? Go ahead and see what we got. Raju here. And I apologize if I mispronounced your name. Game was easy, but the story was 10 out of 10, like all Witcher games, so I say worth it. Nice, yeah. Really story-driven game, which is something that I ignored the entire way through. Next, I confess, I'm streaming it. Never uploaded the footage. I just tried to play it for the gameplay, which is also pretty good. Mora Rodeo. It's what got me playing the Gwent, to be honest. I wish there was more single-player content like that for Gwent. Interesting. I wonder if it was profitable. It makes me wonder. Because I would love to see more games like it if it was profitable. If you could just if you didn't have to take away any Gwent development resources and you could just bring in a team, I'd love to see more games like that. Next. Would you want another single-player Gwent game like Thronebreaker? Most people wanted it, yes. Well, some people want it with the caveat of not taking time away. And a lot of people, very few people didn't want it. Most people are pretty on board with more. Let's see. Rivaldi, my friend. Let's see what you got. Definitely, they could expand the lore or make a prelude to Witcher 4. I would love to see more of Zerrikania. Offrey, specifically Huckland, because they'll invade Northern Realms in the future. Also popular non-Witcher schools like Crane and Manticore are interesting to explore. I know nothing about the lore. All of that sounds really cool to me. I know a little bit about Zerrikania and Offrey, but I'm pretty down. Hey Jake, Jake63 in the chat and in the comment. Let's see. Thronebreaker had the strongest rating of any CDPR game, so I would love another one. They have set up tons of potential for stories with all the Gwent cards they've added, so it could literally be about anything they want. Well said. A lot of lore is kind of pseudo done. They've already added so many like new characters that aren't in the Witcher games to Gwent. You can just literally build off of that if you wanted to. Excellent. Good comment. And last but not least, this actually carries more weight than I thought it would. Will you complete the Gwent journey before next patch? I was actually just trying to find out, are people going to fall short? The majority of the people will finish it and start at level 0. Another 8% come in. So nearly 50% of people who acquired the journey will finish it. A little over 25% who, basically one third of people who got the journey can finish it, 2/3 will. And 75% didn't buy the journey. I think for me, this is a big deal. Look how many people bought the journey. All of these people did. Out of over 2,200 people, 75% of them did buy it, which is pretty darn crazy. Going down here, let's see what the comments are saying. There should have been an extra choice for those who already completed it. Well, it kind of goes into here. That'd be kind of interesting in terms of speed. It might be worth doing a poll like halfway through a journey and saying, what level are you right now? And just try to snapshot it. It could be interesting. Could be interesting. Next comment. Just completed it today. Those last few contracts always feel like a chore, especially with Gwent fatigue in the current meta. Yeah, and that's one of the risks I think it comes with Journey in terms of not liking the meta. You've paid the money for the battle pass. And you're going to grind it out. But alas, people seem to like, as a whole, battle passes. And so that's that. So I guess that's what we're going to keep around having. And that is the poll review for the week. I hope you all at the YouTube fam keep on responding to the polls. Keep on letting me know what you think. I love hearing about it. Makes me think about the future of the game, and I love it. Thank you all again. Twitch fam, say goodbye to the YouTube fam. Guys, I'll see you all next week for another poll review, and I'm sure I'll see you probably in a couple hours for some other random video that comes out because, man, I put out a lot of videos. It's excellent, right? Love all of you. Take care. Guess what? We have a sponsor for today's video, and guess who it is? It's John's Patreon. That's right. Special shout out to all the patrons who support me via Patreon, and special shout outs to Pseudonym81, Ahmed Ali, and McRandar for their ongoing support. Thank you all so much.